The Galaxy Z Fold 8 just got announced, and half the Z Fold 8 cases already on Amazon are actually built for the Z Fold 8 Ultra, a different phone with different dimensions. Buy the wrong one and it won't close right, or it won't close at all. I'm going to show you the case that gets the hinge protection right without turning this thing into a brick. But first, a couple of these almost didn't make the cut. Number 6. We're starting with the TORRAS magnetic case, and I want to be upfront about something. TORRAS has a long track record with Samsung foldables, but at launch, the public spec sheet for this exact Fold 8 listing is thinner than what you'll see from the rest of this list. What TORRAS is known for across its Fold lineup is a magnetic array built for MagSafe-style accessories. Car mounts, wallets, stands, married to a slim, hinge-hugging shell that doesn't add the bulk you'd expect from a foldable case. If that pattern holds here, you're looking at a case that prioritizes staying out of the way over piling on protection. Here's the honest catch. Without a published drop rating or a confirmed gram figure for the magnet strength on this specific listing, I can't tell you how it stacks up against the competition on paper. But you'll want it as something you'll want to check for yourself once real units are in hand, because a military-grade claim without a number attached to it is closer to marketing language than a spec. Given how new the Fold 8 is, this is also the kind of listing that gets quietly updated once the manufacturer finishes real compatibility testing. So double-check the current photos and description before you buy. The screen protector lip situation is the other unknown here. TORRAS cases for past Fold generations have generally left a shallow bezel that plays nice with their own bundled protectors. But whether that clearance survives on a third-party tempered glass is something you would need to confirm. Verdict: if you already trust the brand from a previous Fold and want the slimmest possible profile, this is a reasonable bet. If you want documented numbers before you spend on a $2,000 phone's case, move down this list. This next pick actually publishes the numbers the last one didn't. Number 5. FNTCASE backs up its magnet claim with an actual figure. 38 built-in N52 magnets rated at 2,400 grams force of holding strength, which the company says is roughly 7 times stronger than a standard magnetic case. That's not a vague, extra strong. That's a number you can compare against other magnetic cases before you buy. The shell itself pairs a rigid polycarbonate backplate with flexible TPU bumpers at the edges, plus 4 corner airbags built specifically to eat impact energy before it reaches the phone. FNTCASE rates the whole thing to 18 feet of military-grade drop testing, and it ships with a screen protector and dedicated hinge cover already in the box. The catch is the finish. This is a matte translucent TPU and PC blend. And translucent plastics, even the nano antioxidant-coated ones brands market as yellowing resistant, are still plastics that see UV and skin oils every day. Expect this one to start showing a warm tint sooner than a case using a hybrid PC back with real anti-yellowing chemistry baked in. It's not a defect, it's just physics, and it's worth knowing going in case you're the type who keeps a case for 2 years. On the screen protector lip conflict, the #1 reason cases get 1-star reviews, FNTCASE includes its own protector in the box, specifically so the inner bezel and the glass are matched to each other from the start. That sidesteps the usual problem of an aftermarket glass protector fighting a case edge that wasn't designed around it. If you're planning to swap in your own protector instead of using theirs. Verdict: strong pick if magnet strength and drop numbers matter more to you than long-term clarity. Just know you're trading some future yellowing resistance for that 2,400 gram force figure today. Number 4. WSKEN takes a different approach. Instead of leaning on raw magnet numbers, it builds the case around a 360-degree ring stand made from N52 magnets, so you get MagSafe-style attachment and a genuinely adjustable kickstand in one piece. The stand rotates through a full circle rather than locking into 2 or 3 fixed angles, which matters more than it sounds like once you're actually propping the Fold up on a desk for a video call versus
lying it flatter for a movie. It ships with 2 HD screen protectors in the box, which gives you a spare the moment the first one inevitably picks up a corner scratch. The honest trade-off here is the finish and hand feel. A slim, matte shell with a metal ring stand attached is going to behave differently in a pocket than a straight silicone case. The smooth back slides in easily, but that same smoothness works against you on an inclined surface like a car dash or a tilted desk, where a pure silicone grip would hold on better. You're trading tabletop grip for pocket ease, and which one matters more depends entirely on where you actually use your phone during the day. On the camera bump, the Fold's biggest source of desk wobble, a ring stand case like this generally has to build a flatter camera surround to keep the ring from interfering with how the case sits, which tends to help with table rocking, but is worth confirming once we have it in hand rather than assuming. Verdict: the pick if you actually use kickstand mode regularly, reading, video calls, propped up viewing, and are fine trading a bit of desk grip for that flexibility. If a stand isn't your priority and you just want documented drop numbers, this next one has the most data of anything on this list so far. Number 3. Hensinple is the case here with actual third-party style drop documentation attached. The company states it put this case through more than 8,000 individual drop trials to arrive at its 15-foot rating, which is a level of testing detail most budget case brands don't bother publishing. It's built around a translucent matte back with a magnetic ring holder for charging and mounting. And this is the detail that actually matters for day one Fold 8 buyers. It uses a 1mm raised screen lip and a 2.6mm raised camera bezel specifically sized around this phone's unique wide format shape rather than reused from a Fold 7 mold. That raised lip detail is exactly the kind of thing that determines whether a tempered glass screen protector sits flush or bubbles at the corner. A 1mm lip is on the shallower side, which is good news if you're planning to run a separate glass protector on top. It leaves enough clearance that the case edge shouldn't be fighting the glass for space, whereas a lot of rugged cases push that lip up to 2mm or more and end up lifting protector corners within a week. The catch is that this level of drop test detail comes from the manufacturer's own testing, not an independent lab. So treat the 8,000 trial figure as a strong claim rather than a certified one. Samsung and TORRAS-style third-party MIL-STD language is a different tier of verification than a brand's in-house numbers. It's still more transparency than most of this list offers. Verdict: best documented drop protection here. And the shallow screen lip makes it a genuinely solid pick if you're running your own glass protector on top. Number 2. BENKS switches materials entirely with the ArmorGrid Air Grand Combo, a 3-piece system built from genuine Kevlar fiber that pairs a magnetic back case with a matching front frame and a Glass Warrior HD screen protector, all coordinated to work together instead of being bought separately and hoped to fit. The whole back case and frame combo weighs just 35 grams, which is genuinely light for something covering both halves of a folding phone. And the woven Kevlar surface gives you a grip texture that doesn't rely on tacky silicone to keep the phone in your hand. That's the real differentiator worth calling out. Because the front frame and the screen protector are designed as one matched set, rather than a case you bought separately from whatever glass protector you found on Amazon, you skip the single biggest cause of 1-star reviews on foldable cases: a case lip and a screen protector that were never actually designed for each other, fighting for the same few millimeters of space. The catch is that Kevlar, for all its aerospace material reputation, is still a fabric-faced case rather than a rigid armored shell. This is built for scuffs, drops, and daily wear, rather than positioning itself as the maximum protection option on this list. If you're the person who wants a case that can survive a genuine concrete drop from shoulder height without a second thought, the Kevlar weave prioritizes a refined, business-ready look and grip over raw shock absorption. Verdict: the best integrated system here. Case, frame, and screen protector actually designed to work as one unit in a genuinely premium material at a weight that doesn't punish you for wanting a professional look. Before the winter, the pattern across every case on this list is the same trade-off. More protection nearly always means more bulk, or a plastic that yellows, or a lip that fights your screen protector. The one that avoids all three did it with an engineering trick nobody else on this list is using. Number 1. Spigen's Slim Armor Pro MagFit is the winner, and it earns it with a detail that's easy to miss on a spec sheet, but obvious the moment you actually use a fold case day to day. Instead of the usual 2-piece front and back shell held together with clips or adhesive, it uses Spigen's Seculock system, which interlocks the front and rear panels with an actual reinforced steel pin. That means the case holds itself together mechanically, rather than relying on friction-fit plastic tabs that loosen over months of folding. And folding is the one thing this phone does thousands of times over its life that a normal phone case never has to deal with. The hinge itself gets a spring-loaded mechanical cover, not just a flexible rubber flap, which keeps dust and debris away from the single most expensive part to repair on this entire device. It's also Qi 2 wireless charging certified, so you're not gambling on generic MagSafe compatible marketing language. Qi 2 is an actual certified standard with real alignment and charging speed requirements behind it. Spigen itself describes this as its most popular foldable case across generations. And independent coverage from Android Authority and 9to5 Google backs up that this is the mid-tier pick in Spigen's own Fold 8 lineup. More protective than their ultra-slim AirSkin option, less bulky than their maximum coverage tough armor line. At $34.99, it's priced like a case built by a company that's been doing this specific job, Samsung Foldable Protection, for several device generations in a row, not a first attempt at a brand new phone shape. The catch: a steel pin interlock and a mechanical spring hinge cover both add a small amount of thickness compared to the thinnest cases on this list, and that spring mechanism is one more moving part that has to survive years of folding. Worth knowing if you specifically want the absolute slimmest case available. Verdict: the most engineered solution on this list, backed by a brand with an actual multi-generation track record on Samsung foldables, at a price that reflects real R&D rather than a fast-to-market accessory. Closing recap. Quick recap by what you actually need. Best for screen protector users, Hensinple, thanks to that shallow 1mm screen lip. Best for kickstand use, WSKEN, for the full 360-degree ring stand. Best documented magnet strength, FNTCASE, with a published 2,400 gram force figure. Best integrated case and protector system, thanks ArmorGrid. Best overall for a phone this expensive, Spigen Slim Armor Pro MagFit. Links to everything are below in order. Drop a comment if you've already got your Fold 8 and want me to actually test the hinge durability and screen protector clearance on any of these once more stock is available.